The Missouri National Guard one-on-one. Missouri National Guard, always ready, always there.
All right, Mizzou 4-0 heading into conference play this weekend as the Tigers travel to Nashville to take on Vanderbilt. We're joined by head coach Gary Pinkel. And Coach, kind of wrapping up that first chapter of the season, non-conference play. What's your assessment of your team through 4 games, and how do you feel moving into SEC play this week?
Well, first of all, that was a goal. You know, what we do at the beginning of, I do it at the beginning of spring football, and I also do it at the beginning of August when we start camp, is show the calendar. Because that's our goal. Those are our goals. Those are our 12 goals in order to get to postseason and compete for championships. And one of our goals, and the first goal, is just to have an undefeated season in non-conference. And the bowling implications, what it does in terms of rankings and things like that. So that's real important. So we accomplished that goal. I think I don't think we've played our best game yet. I think we're getting better. I think our players are real excited about getting conference play. It's a great conference. We're excited about getting it in the second year. And we start out at Vanderbilt, and it'll be a great challenge for us.
The first conference game this weekend at Vandy, as you mentioned, this being the second year in the league and now seeing some of these teams for a second time, is there a different comfort level having seen these SEC East teams a year ago as opposed to last season when it was your first year in the league?
You know, I know everybody tries to make that into bigger than what it is. You know, we've been doing this playing for a long time around here, playing the Big 12 when there were 12 teams, and obviously the strength of the league at that time we had so many great teams at that time. So, it was still, for myself, it was no different than what I ever expected. I mean, at all. I think maybe our players, to some of them, maybe it was kind of, finally let's get into this, go play into the great SEC. And I think after playing 3 or 4 games, win or lose, I think we settled down a little bit then. I think and understand that they got good football teams. We played good football teams. Let's go to work. So, I just think it's more that we had a difficult year. I think it's more to get back into the race to prove yourself a little bit.
You mentioned all the great teams in this league, and I'm curious your thoughts on, you look around the league. I know this is Mizzou's first conference game this week, but I'm sure you've seen some of the other stuff going around the league, and a lot of points being scored. And we talk about, you rewind the tape a year ago, and a lot of the talk was, hey, this rough and tumble, 17-13 kind of games, kind of league. But, what do you think of the offensive numbers that are being put up not only by your Tigers but by a lot of teams in the SEC?
Well, first of all, there's been a lot of coaches changes, and a lot of the changes of the coaches are bringing in the fastball, speedball offenses, more spread offenses, which you weren't supposed to play that in the SEC, and obviously Texas A&M did a great job. The other thing this year, I think, the quarterbacks they're more outstanding quarterbacks, as the Big 12 has had for years. There are more good quarterbacks in this league this year than there, and I think, and I don't know the history of the league in the last 10 years, but there's a significant number of quarterbacks playing at a high level. I think all those things equate to more points.
And you've got one of those quarterbacks, James Franklin. We've talked in the last couple of days about the way he's changed and evolved as a leader. But when you just kind of look at his mechanics and what he's improved at as a quarterback here in his senior year, what are the things that are popping out to you?
Well, one thing that's different for him is that his accuracy is better than it's ever been, and that's just from fundamental work. It's funny, you talk to people about throwing a football and you think you aim the ball and throw it, like you're throwing a dart or something like that, but really your feet determine your balance, which determine your accuracy. And so he's really worked on his fundamentals and his accuracy there. I think the other thing that's different for him is everything's slowed down tremendously. He can see more than he's ever seen. It's kind of fun talking to a quarterback when in 3.5 seconds they can see all this stuff happen. Whereas a year before that, they could only see half of it, which allows them to make decisions, allows them to go to different parts of the field with their reads, rather when you're young and you can't see that much, you have to stick with the basics. And I think his ability to handle some of the adversity, I think he grew from that last year. You don't want to go through it, but you go through it, and as most people, through adversity you learn the most. And I think those are some of the things that he's really improved dramatically on.
And on the other side of the ball, an SEC honor for Michael Sam this week after he had 3 sacks against Arkansas State. Is he really coming on as a leader and a force on this defense?
High energy. His competitiveness that game was something else. He was very positive in his leadership and the emotion that he was showing with the team, and even through when the scores got a little tight there. Really pleased with his progress. But he can run. He's very athletic, and he's got experience. And I think I just saw him in the hallway a little while ago, and he's just real excited about getting ready for this game.
overall, as you look at this first SEC game against Vanderbilt, what are some of the keys this Saturday down in Nashville?
Well, first of all, Coach Franklin has done a great job with that program. Really, I got great respect for him. I think when you look at their football team, you look at a real disciplined defensive football team. They're statistically pretty high, especially for playing, Ole Miss and playing South Carolina both. So I think a combination of both of those things are very significant. I think offensively, their quarterback's playing well. He's transferring, but he's really, really well. He's a guy that makes things happen back there, so he can turn, nothing into something. He can extend the play, and they get that great wide receiver and a couple great running backs. So they're a real good football team. They lost South Carolina. They had a bid to get back in it in the end, and it came short, but they came close to. Against a great football team, and Ole Miss the same way. Ole Miss they took the lead with like 2 minutes left and lost at the very end. So they got a real good football team.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Good luck starting conference play this week.
Okay, thanks.
Head Coach Gary Pinkel, Tigers take on Vanderbilt this Saturday down in Nashville. We'll have all the coverage right here on the Mizzou Network.